the BBC have to literally be in a position whereby we've had episode 1 actually broadcast in the UK, and later this evening in the United Kingdom, episode 2 is due to be broadcast. I have to say I don't know the content of the second episode, but if it's anything like the first episode, this was poorly researched, contained complete innuendo, and dismissed the evidence that exists. And the first thing, obviously, is there was a complete downplaying of what caused the Gujarat riots in the first place, which, of course, was the murder of Hindu pilgrims who were burnt to death on a train carriage, where the evidence was clear that fuel had been used and that the whole carriage had been doused with fuel and then set alight, that had caused the tensions in the first place. The second was a complete attack on Sri Narendra Modi, on suggesting that in somehow, shape or form, he was responsible for the anti-Muslim riots that followed. It also dispersed, and this is something that I find it really difficult to understand, it interspersed interviews and comments that Narendra Modi had made as chief minister, trying to calm the situation down. It cast doubt on India's Supreme Court and the investigation that they held with a huge report, I think 451 pages of report, that completely exonerated Narendra Modi from any blame whatsoever, and indeed found that he'd attempted, quite rightly, to calm the situation, to protect the citizens of Gujarat. So, far from being a responsible broadcaster, the BBC has been the victim now of a propaganda video, effectively, with, I think, severe undercurrents of anti-India feeling, clearly anti-Narendra Modi feeling. And you have to ask the question, here we are, more than 20 years on from these events, and yet the BBC is still trotting these unsubstantiated slurs on the Prime Minister of India. It doesn't help UK-India relations one bit. You have to question why the BBC and indeed the programme makers got involved in putting together such a programme at this point in the political cycle. And to me, it's an absolute outrage that it's being broadcast on BBC TV.